All right. Thanks, guys, for hopping on. It is last day of February. Holy smokes, where did it go? How can it be March already? Real quick, if you haven't, Misty and I were just talking about stuff that end of month live with Lacey and Dan. There is a $25 join special for the month of March, which should help so many more people get someone to join their team and to get certified so that you can get the brick by brick incentive. If you get all 3 time periods that they have for the summer, spring, summer, then you will earn the grand prize. So that's kind of cool, something to work for. Make sure you're telling your teams, because I think it gets lost in the shuffle. So
Yeah.
keep talking about it and talking about it and letting people know when they're close. That's really helpful. So I think I'm going to try really hard this month to make sure that I'm talking about it. Another thing is that World Tour, they're doing their last 5 stops tomorrow. So I don't know how long we'll have World Tour videos. So if you went to World Tour and haven't gone back to actually watch any of the other breakouts, do that, because there's a lot of great people. I think was it Star Directors and Superstar Directors, Missy, that did the breakouts? Or was
And I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. It seems like there were some directors included too, but I don't know that
then it was directors and it was superstars. So I think Star Directors did another event. So then they're trying to break it up. So there's some amazing people that did some talks. So go check it out.
Yeah.
Share the ones that you find that you love, so other people can go and watch them as well. I need to dig into that. That's my goal for this week. So thanks for hopping on. Sorry about the last time we met. We had a huge sickness. We were traveling. It was absolute disaster. So thank you to Kate and everyone else that hopped on, and Cassie went live for me. It was just chaos. It was absolute chaos. And I hope that never happens again while we travel, because it was not good. So thanks for hopping on. And it sounds like there was really good discussion last time that you guys met, which is really great. So thank you for being flexible. Today, I really want to talk about value and a training that I have had done with Brenda Steer. She was a speaker at Reunion last year, a corporate speaker. She was in direct sales. I think she maybe was Origami Owl and is no longer doing that company. She's just, oh, someone's unmuted. There we go. Just doing training for people in direct sales. So she's really focused in on direct sales and how to leverage your direct sales business, which is pretty cool. I feel like there's some like influencers and some trainers, but they're not really just direct sales, where she grew a ginormous business very fast. I think she was in like banking or something completely different, left her career. It was a very high stress career that she had to do direct sales, and then ended up like leaving that because she was done with that. I don't know why she left her direct sales company, but she was talking about value and having value be part of your Scentsy business or your direct sales business. But she was really talking about like, when we talk about value, because we have core values with Scentsy, generosity, simplicity, authenticity. And then we also have, like our vision statement, but having those values and really honing in on those values. And when she was talking, it made a lot of sense, because people want to know why you are in the business. They want to know why you do the business. They want to know who they're working with, right? So if we have these core values of simplicity, authenticity, and simplicity, authenticity, generosity, like, are we using that to our benefit of asking people to join our teams, for asking people to host an event, a scent event, a party, a fundraiser, anything like that? Like, are we making it so simple that that can be duplicated? And are we continuously talking about those things? Which I know I don't. Should I be? Heck yeah. And it was really eye-opening this last Friday. I've obviously been wanting to talk about this topic for quite some time. And I sit down with some ladies that are marketing people for their own companies here in where I live, but they're like bigger companies. No one is a direct sales. I'm the only direct sale person, but they're like an accounting firm, a restoration business, a telecommunication business, like people that were like have marketing degrees. We all come together, and then there's little old me, and we all come together and we talk about marketing. And one lady that is in charge of the marketing program for this telecommunication business literally went back and she's like, you guys, I need to get your opinion on this. Like, she's making a new marketing flyer, but she's like, I think we need to go back to our core values. And I was like, whoa, like, all right. So if a big company is going to talk about their core values in their marketing, then we should be doing that too. Right? Because we want to market our business. We want to market ourselves. We want to market our group, right? Like, as a Scentsy group, what is the value that we will bring to somebody else's life to join Scentsy? What is that value? And so that really like struck me that we're doing the right things, because that's what people are going back to right now. So that's what I really want to focus on today, and finding those values of when someone joins a team or when somebody hosts, what are the values that we're sharing with them? I think this might be a topic that we might have to visit like 2 or 3 times, because I really want to focus in on the joining part, because we do have a new joining special coming. We have the new Brick by Brick incentive. We all want to be growing our businesses. And so when Brenda was talking about like, how can we show value to people when they join our Scentsy business? So we know the value of the kit, right? So if we take our kit and it's $99, but what is the real value of our kit? We can do the number. We can say, okay, yep, they get a warmer at $30. They get a room spray at $8. They get a bar of wax for $6. Like, we can break it out, and then they see the larger number versus like the value they get. So maybe, I don't even know, what's our kit valued at? Like 3 something, 317, 314, something like that. So if our value is, like, it's priced higher than what we're actually paying. So how can we convey that to people that are looking at the outside in? Like, why would we want people to come to the Scentsy side to bring value to their lives? What do we think about? Yes, money is a great value, but what else can we talk about that has value for someone to join the Scentsy culture or the Scentsy team?
I think community is a huge thing, especially like that's one of my major things is the community and the sense of what it can do for your self-worth for me personally.
Yep.
But that's what I kind of portray out to other people when I notice they're kind of on the same page as me, is I like to push that. Like, this is what it's done for me, and I know it can do the same for you.
Love it. And so she was when yes, I'm trying to like fit it into where I want to go. Um, so let's back step a little bit. So when we first talk to someone about like joining our business, and then like maybe, okay, so they're kind of like in that exploratory, oh yeah, maybe I do want to do this. And then they sign up, and then let's say then that person is doing really well, and then they hit a leadership title, and then maybe they hit director, right? So there's all sorts of different types of consultants, and there's all so like all at all different levels. But then there's all sorts of different people that join, people that are, you know, the people that start really fast, or the people that join just to get a discount and then they start liking it. So then they don't have just the discount, but they're actually like enjoying their business, and they're actually like trying to do their business. There's the people that just have like the fast track and just go all the way up, right? So we all have all those different types of people. We have the kidnappers. And when we're trying to bring value, we have to think about the value that all of the different types of people that come into the organization have, and how can we benefit, or how can we give value to all of those people. So someone might join, like Kate said, for community. Okay. So then when they're in our community, when they're in our groups, when they're in Scentsy and they want to have community, what do we do? How do we as leaders bring value to their business by having community? And this is where I think it gets to be maybe overwhelming as a leader, because we have to like think of all of the things, right? So how do we bring value to that type of consultant? We host events like tonight. We have game nights, we have book clubs, we have social hours, we have meetings, all sorts of different ways that we can have community for all these, for that type of person that wants to join because of joining for a community. Oh, someone's got some feedback. I'm gonna mute you, Missy. Okay. There we go. Awesome. What else? Why or how, what else could we have for value? Like, how else can we bring value to a person that's in Scentsy?
And I think another important thing as far as the whole community-based thing, but even just, like, those, the new people that new consultants that jump on your team, and you like, they share something with you and you ask them, hey, do you want to share that to the team page? I think that's going to bring value to their self-esteem, like, she wants me to share. Yeah, we want you to share. So I think that plays a huge role too,
Right.
in a person's outlook, I guess.
Mhm. So recognition, I would say that would be like a form of recognition, so that you're telling them that they are doing a good job and that they can do really well, and that to encourage them to share their experiences. Absolutely. Yeah. Anybody else?
And also, I think it's just important to support them based on what they want. You mentioned the different type of people that sign up. Some are going to be kidnappers. That's just part of what we do. But some, I mean, I just sponsored a really good customer, those that are kind of hard to sponsor, like, it's PRV, but we always want a team member. And she's clear. She to get paid on her Scentsy, get paid to shop. And I think for me, communicating that, sure, support. But then on the team and let it happen. Like, I mean, that's a great idea, Kate, when they see the culture and the community that we have. You know, I learned a long time ago that we want to create environments. And for so many of us running these businesses on social media, the environments are team pages. They're the social culture that we all try so hard to have, but doing so based on what people want for them. If they want to just get paid to shop, then supporting that. If they want to grow a team, then supporting them based on what they want and pointing them to the information that's already in place and not making it hard. We just show how easy it is. I love the cultures like your page and my page where we really try to fill each other's minds with ideas to do. And so I think that brings value as well, regardless of why people sign up, that's their choice, but then letting them see, oh, maybe that is a possibility to do more with it than what they maybe originally thought.
Absolutely. And I think when Brenda was talking about this, I think my biggest eye opener was that yes, we're going to need the kidnappers. We're going to need the ones that do it for, you know, a side hustle. We're going to need the ones that do it for a career. We need everybody. But I think what I want to portray to you guys is that we need to make sure that we are bringing all of the things in one place, right? So we want to make sure that we're still helping the kidnappers and making them feel like they're wanted and that they're appreciated and that they're not just a number, or they're not just not just PRV, that sort of a thing. So how do we bring value to that kidnapper, right? Like, we share that we're having a join special, making sure that they know that that's out there. Having and some of the things that she was saying is, is there a special promotion? Is there something that only consultants can get? Like sometimes we get the samples first, letting them know that, right? Like, so how do we communicate that? How do we bring that to their forefront so that they know that we're not just waiting for them to place their order. The people that come for just community, maybe they're not big PRVers, and that's okay. But like, how do we create that community that they keep becoming, they keep showing up for, right? Maybe it's the people that really want the next level, like this group. This is why we have this group, so that the people that want to do their business full time or have a substantial paycheck, then we have a higher level of training, of communicating, of value, of, so do you see where I'm taking it, where I'm like having the different tiers, and how as leaders, we have to make sure we cater to everybody, which can be tricky, but we kind of have to remember that, that we can't just always slam out a, here, sell this, here's this challenge, here's that challenge, here's this challenge. It's really got to be more of like a sprinkle in of every type, like at least once a week, so that we bring value to every single person that's in our group.
And I think an important thing too is showing your new consultants or whomever their own potential, because it could just be that kidnapper that's like, I'm just gonna get my own stuff, or like just here and there a little on the side. But if you say, hey, you know what, let me help you launch your party, and kind of help her post and do that thing, and then pretty soon Susie Q and the rest of her friends and family are, and then it's gonna be like a bulb, like, oh, wait a second. So that could potentially jump her up to, wait, I want to go further up. So I think especially showing the potential of what people can do if they just, commit to a little bit of time.
right? And then how do you do that? Right? Like how as leaders do we, other than communicating with them, but how do we as leaders make sure that we are doing that?
I think it's just like kind of like what Missy said, you got to get to know what they want. And so then you got to get to that basic and then you go from there. So yes, it's communication. Maybe it's helping with their launch party. Maybe it's they're going to have their launch party at the house and you go to their house if you're local to them and help them, like kind of sit back, but yet, be there, like just supporting them,
Mhm.
to name a few, I guess. I mean, it's kind of baby steps, until you can kind of let them go, but more so, yeah, you have to know what they want. Are they in it for the money? Yeah, well, let's tell them how they can make $600 a month, by selling 2,000 PRV, or maybe they want to earn that trip. And so it's like, okay, so maybe you break it down with them. Okay, so this is your goal. Let's do those action steps of what you have to do to get to your goal. So again, some of it might be tedious in some other different areas, but that's what we have to do.
I think it's also key to, like, when we shout out maybe like a certified for consultant for promoting, that we educate through the shout out. Like Susie Q just promoted to certified. She sold her first 1,000 in retail sales. And now she has a new title and a new promotion. Now, all the eyes are going to see the celebration, but they're also going to see what it took her get there, because
Frozen.
leading her goals that she had work, and that way you've got Lee. We can invite them to celebrate with her, but they're also seeing, I think too, and I don't.
I just sent her a message. Maybe she'll see that one. I just want to hear what she's saying. Oh, shoot. She'll come back. Maybe she'll move out of her office. I like that point of educating. I just posted one the other day and I did not do that. So that's a really good idea. Like, this is what this consultant did. You don't have to say like how long it took them, but I don't know, maybe sometimes it is okay to say that, right? Like, she's still here. Like mine the other day it was over a year that it took her to get to certified, but she's still, like, she didn't give up. She's still buying her own stuff. So I guess you'd have to determine what would be good for that. But
I do that with being active too. Like, congratulations to people that are active this month, and I'll put in parentheses 200 plus PRV. So I'm always throwing that little tidbit in there because I know some people are like, wait, what do you have to do for that?
right. Hi, Missy.
I hate my internet. Let me just say that. I am literally sitting by the box. I moved rooms. I hate my internet. I live in the country, so.
Now you sound better and you're like, it's different.
Is it better?
Oh yeah, it's perfect now.
It's better. Well, what I was going to say earlier is doing posts that have nothing to do with sales. And I don't know all the answers to this, but I know that we are living in really hard, weird times. And I did a leadership conference a couple of weeks ago, not Cincy associated, but there was one theme that just kept coming back, and it goes back to our core values of being authentic and just caring about people. And, maybe self-care is so on the bottom list. And I know that sounds so cliche, but, like, taking the time to text your leaders. Have you had enough water today? Have you walked today? Did you get outside today? Because it's taking the business element out of it and putting the I care about you as a person element in. You know, and I'm such a numbers person, and especially with it being the last day of the month. And I genuinely try to care about people, but we don't want the numbers to ever be more important than the person. People over products, people over paychecks. You know, that's kind of a personal motto for me. And knowing, I mean, and you know, there's no way we can touch everybody. We just can't. But if we can touch our front line and our leaders, and hopefully they'll reciprocate, because while we do want this business to be a blessing for people, we want people to know that we care about them and authentically. You know, I had a young mom tonight. I mean, she was $4 from Active. So how could I not reach out to her? And let me just first say, she works full-time outside the home. She is a teacher. Can you imagine being a teacher this day and age? She has 3 small children. She has dealt with COVID this month. She has dealt with head lice this month, and she has dealt with a stomach virus this month. She didn't need her superstar director doing anything but just saying, I just said, bless, just bless. But she's posting on Facebook tonight to meet her goal. She's like, I've got an order to place. I've got this. And so that's what I'm talking about, the human element in this. Now, it was a number, the reason I reached out to her, but now I have an opportunity to go in tomorrow to just check on her. That's kind of what I'm talking about. And I really need more ideas here, because we all have craziness going on, every single one of us. But I think when we bring value to people by just caring for them, that helps create those communities people don't want to leave, you know, and we learned that a long time ago as leaders. Create communities people don't want to leave. And I don't think we know how to do that always.
Right. Well, and I think, you know, even with this group, right? Like how do we get people to keep coming back, right? Like that's my biggest thing. Like I want to keep doing this and I want people to show up, but if I'm not doing the things that people are finding value in, then what can I be doing? And that's always like, what should I be doing? You know, that sort of a thing. But I do think what we're talking about is completely right on target. Like it's the little things that we can do to check in. I know, just what, like Missy was talking about, like, okay, so she had that person that's $4 away. You know, obviously we should all be checking our teams tonight, making sure that anyone's close to 200 or losing a downline. No matter who they are, we need to reach out. But even so, I do a Thursday text message to my team. So anyone that I am their director, and I put a recipe in there. No one's ever said boo about it, but I would find value in that. Like I would like, yes, like someone gave me a new idea for dinner, right? Like awesome. And maybe I'll start putting that in the group page too. Like here's a dinner idea like that I love, you know, like that's as simple, right? Like I put it in, thanks, Kate. I put it in that text, but I barely get a thank you from any of those texts, even when it's a shout out to my team, like top 10, I don't even get like a thanks for that or, you know, nothing. So it's like finding that right way of communicating to the people that you're serving, right? Like, what is the way that I can reach out to them efficiently as a business owner that's running her own business, you know, like it's tricky. It's super tricky, but I don't do it for the thanks. Like we have to remember that too. Like I'm doing it because I want to make them feel like they are good, and maybe they do feel good, right? But maybe I don't know. Do you find that, Missy, where if you do something that maybe you don't get a lot of like communication back?
I
Or
just addressed this on a coaching call this afternoon with one of my rising leaders. And I had to remind her that as leaders, we do the reaching out, not because we get reached back to always, not because we always get thanked, but because we're leaders.
Right.
That's why we are leaders serving our clients, our teams, and our groups. That's who we are. We are servants, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I just mean it as when I see myself as a server, I use this all the time, the server in a restaurant. That's not just for our customers, that's for our teams and our groups, because I know you do a lot, Anne, and I do a lot. And we have to be careful, especially when we do things for people and we see them thank other upline. And I'm like, I still do what I do because it brings value to the actions in my business as I try to bring value to others. And by the way, I love the recipe idea. I love that because I'm a 5 ingredient or less girl. So anything we can do to help people simplify their lives. So I do love that because we're all busy, and that would just be just something fun.
And it's amazing when I posted on like my regular Facebook page, like, hey, what are you having for dinner? I'll get floods of people. Like that is such a great question to ask if you need to like switch up your algorithm, because like people will post, right? Like, and it's the people that love to cook. It's the people that love to share, right? And then I just take it all. I take it all in because I am not a cook. Like I go to Pinterest for every recipe because it's not in my wheelhouse. It's just not, it's not there. But it's something that like, if I find something that our family enjoys, I can share it. Right. So that would even be like something like once a month, even like, a recipe dump or something like that would bring value to your team page. That might be something that people will stick around for. And I wish Molly was on this call tonight because she kind of gave me this idea to put it into the weekly text, but she does a weekly, in not even her Scentsy group, but just she has a group on Facebook, and it's a recipe. Like she will list out all the days of her week, what she's having for dinner for the week. So you can literally look at what they're having for dinner in their house and go, oh, what's that? What's that? And then she'll share, if you want the recipe, she'll share it. And it's so nice because it's like, I don't even have to think about it. Like, can you shop for me too, Molly? Like, can I have your ingredients list too, your shopping list? But I always think like, if I was really smart, I'd have an app and it would have like the details of what to cook for every day of the week, like in a month, and then it would just repeat itself. But I don't have that. But like little things like that, like how can we attach little things like that so that it's sensified within our groups, and no matter who they are, they can have value by just that, right? I don't know.
Well, we all have to eat. So that definitely brings the value. And then we all have chores to do. Maybe just sharing ideas of just spend 5 to 10 minutes in a room picking up. We all have homes that get messy, and just bringing value outside of Scentsy. However, the more organized and clean the home is, the more they're going to be motivated to work on their Scentsy business. Because I know like my office right now is a wreck, and I'm not real motivated to go in there. I was in there working on some samples, but it's because I packed out an order last week, and I need to get in there and work. But it's sharing the tips and the ideas for just basic functioning right now, the menu planning, the meals, the recipes, and then quick tips about getting your house organized and clean. The things I love practical things. I gravitate to things that feel practical and feel simple. And so I forget sometimes that other people may appreciate that too.
Mhm.
It's just those little tips. Um,
But we can even do that, Missy, with your VIPs and your
yes.
customer pages, because
Mhm.
like that, we also need to bring value as a Scentsy consultant to our customers, and
Yes.
not just slamming down Scentsy down their
Mhm.
throats like every 2 seconds. But if I can come as my Scentsy lady that gives me these great recipes or great cleaning tips or organizing tips or um you know design tips like mantles and like colors to
Mhm.
put on your wall, like we have to kind of like think about all the things,
Yes.
not
Yes.
just showing a flyer, not just showing
Mhm.
what came out this week for the LTOs.
Right. I've been really intentional. I keep it clean, but I share humor because I think it's so needed. And I need to do that more with my team. I do it a lot in my VIP group. I'll just find, like, if somebody posts something and I've already shared something, then I'll just schedule it. But I shared, it was on my regular Facebook page the other day about, it wasn't Scentsy wax, but this guy grabbed some.
Oh
He
my
said, "What in the hello is a wax warmer?" Did you see that?
God.
It was hilarious. But we all need laughter. We all need those feel good stories too. Those things that, because like I said, it's hard. It is, people are struggling. People are not doing well. I have more people struggling with mental health right now than I've ever had, whether it's family, whether it's my team, they're my people.
Mhm.
People are just struggling. And I think it's okay. Like Shelby Joe did our table time this week, and she was very authentic to say, I'm struggling too. And I think that's when we become so human, that the value is in that people can relate to us. You know, that's the authentic part of Scentsy. The generous part of Scentsy is finding people's needs. Like, this brings value, and not only to our customers. Like, I have been really communicating to my team that when we think fundraisers, it doesn't have to be huge organizations. I got a single mom in my area that is a newly single mom. She's got 4 kids. She needed baseball fees for her son. So I'm like, let me set you up a fundraiser. And just the title of that on my website, people that don't even know her are choosing that party. I got to write her a $75 check. And she messaged me just humbled to the core. I'm like, sister, we will keep that open. So the opportunity to bring value to people's lives, just, I don't always have the money to write out $75 checks, but since he gives me that platform,
Mhm.
but then I can share that with my team, that don't overcomplicate a fundraiser. It could be just for a single mom. It's a reverse party. It's, you keep the 3.5 off, or give it if you want to, and share your commission. But it's all about communicating up front. This is what I'll bless you with. And it just, we need those feel good moments in life right now, because I loved being able to write her out that check. I loved being able to bless her for that, and communicating that. And while it's business, it's also, it's joy.
Mhm.
And when we bring the value of joy into it and showing others how to have joy in their businesses, and daggum, if it doesn't give you joy, quit doing it.
Right.
Life is too hard. There are things in my business I don't do. I haven't sent out a top team postcard and I don't know when, because it felt monotonous and my life is hard and it was not giving me joy. So it's now a banner on my team page for all of them to see, because it's okay as leaders to realize that is a chore and I hate doing it. Stop doing it. Do the things that give you joy. You've got to bring value to yourself sometimes before we can even think about bringing value to others. Because if we're doing the things, I just had this conversation with another leader. She is so burnt out because, number one, she has compared herself to everybody in the world. We've got to stop doing that. Like, and you know how much I love you. But if you and I spent time comparing about, well, Ann does this better, like my active earrings, like you told me, like, I love this story. You're laughing because we both love it.
Because it's so true.
I know.
Like,
And
if and Missy, like, maybe you should explain it because we are recording, but like it that does not bring me joy.
no,
Like,
I know. But I love
But
you
it's-
so much that I bounced the idea off of you because I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And this was your comment that makes me want to vomit. Well, I'm like, I kind of like the idea, so I'm going to go with it. And you're on my team page and you see how they love it. It's just this bulk faux leather earrings I get on Amazon, and that brings me joy. For you, it made you want to vomit. But if I was so worried, because this is what comparison does, it feeds into that pleasing people. But you got to be free to bounce things off of friends. And if they're like, it makes me want to vomit, but you still like it anyway, do it.
and I think we have such a great relationship that I could just
Yes.
tell you that. And then
Yes.
I knew that you wouldn't like take
Right.
offense to it, or like I could just tell you how I genuinely
Yes.
feel. Like, and that
Yes.
like I'm not comparing to you, you're not comparing to me.
No.
Like, we are
No.
here, like we are just here to help each other. And
Right.
I'm still so glad that you still do it because your team loves it.
Yes.
I think
And
that it's so cool to see.
that's the perfect example of you bring value to me. I hope I bring an ounce of value to you, but and we get no monetary compensation off of one another. And that I think is the beauty in the generosity is, like this tonight, like bringing our groups together and our leaders to collaborate about the value things. But I just know that life is hard and life is heavy, and we don't want Cincy to feel like a chore. I want everybody a chore. I want people to experience the joy, and it's joy beyond the 10th day of every month. It is joy in friendships like you and I have established. It is getting to know your leaders and you getting to know mine. It is bringing something to the table that blesses my life if I'm having an extra anxious day or feeling, a little down. I mean, it's saying tomorrow will be better. Just think about things and just reminding each other of that. So when we hear it in a friend's voice, just, not discounting life is hard. And sometimes it's saying nothing other than I'm here if you need an ear, and meaning it. There's a lot of people that come to Cincy that stay in Cincy because they finally found a place where they not only have found purpose and they have found value, but they're able to be that for other people too. It's just it's a special culture. I've been in other direct sales and there is no culture like Cincy culture. So I'm just thankful. I'm thankful. I don't know if that would help anybody, but I just recognizing, for me, stop looking at the numbers long enough to recognize people are hurting. People need to hear from us that has nothing to do with get your 500 in, or like my teacher mom tonight. She's dealt with all the stuff she's dealt with this month, but she's active. So her family, I mean, she's going to get paid anyway, but I don't know. I hope this makes sense, and just do the things that bring us joy so that we can be a vessel of joy.
Right. And then it's like, as leaders, if we're at the point where we don't know what brings us joy, then you need to like take chill,
Yep.
figure that out, because, and then let's say like joy is smelling the bars of wax, then get them
Mhm.
alive and start smelling wax and start experiencing it and really sharing that with your customers. I mean, it's the little things of unboxing a order and going through it, and
Mhm.
it's the little things. It's getting excited when you get a new team member or
Yes.
someone promoting. I need to get better at like showing that on my own personal page, because people, not everyone sees it. And do people really think that I am growing my business, or that I am working it,
Mhm.
um yeah.
But tapping in when you share it, because that's for me too. I don't share as much. My Facebook reminders today were a reminder. I don't throw confetti on my personal page like I used to. And I thought, why did I quit doing that? First of all, it takes time, but if I'm going to be authentic and recognizing the person, some people don't want it. First of all, they don't want the recognition. And I think maybe that's why I stopped doing it. But tapping into how this blessed them, and if it was the paycheck, or was it just she found a sense of confidence in herself that she forgot that was there. That gives me joy to identify and to speak that kind of life over just another human being, because um, I've seen Scentsy do incredible things, not just for my family, but I've watched women that were too shy to share a sample at a birthday party that are now my directors.
Right.
Women that practice, because I don't think you need confidence in this business. I think you need to just practice insane amounts of courage, because the more you do things, then you overcome and you get courageous. That's just a recipe for confidence, but it's just practicing courage over and over and over again, and giving people the permission, because it's sad, but not a lot of women always feel confident, and maybe are surprised that you don't have to be, that you can just be brave,
Mhm.
focus on being brave. That will bring value to someone that's really shy and doesn't have a lot of self-esteem. Just, I said a long time ago, and it's still true, there's a lot of seeds we can plant in this business, but the greatest seeds we can plant is that I believe in you. You can do this. Let me tell you this story of how she overcame. And telling stories, that brings so much value. Jerry taught us that a long time ago, is the value in telling the stories of how people overcome. Because have you ever been in a room and you heard someone's story and you think, I'm not the only one?
Right.
That brings value. So you're going to get me yawning again. So
Sorry.
it's okay.
Just, yeah.
I appreciate you, Anne.
That book that Kendra Hall about
Mhm.
stories, I honestly think we need to read that book as a group, because
Mm,
it it's so good. I need to like, it's so good. I keep re-listening to one chapter, because it's like you need to hear some of those things over and over and over again,
yeah.
about the simple things of sharing a story and what they've overcome. And like, I was thinking, like, before when we were talking, like, I haven't even shared like my story with my group in forever. Like, when's the last time I got on and was like,
Mhm.
explaining like why we have our name of our name, or, like, how did I start Scentsy? So I'm going to do that this week and it's almost like you should do it like once a quarter because of all the new people that come in,
Yeah.
like I'm still doing this. I'm still here. My life sucked when I joined, like
Mhm.
it's not anywhere where we are today. But if I can do it, you can do it.
Mhm.
Just having that simple encouragement and having the value of sticking it out and having the courage and all the
And
things.
there's value in failure too. And that's what we've got to be willing to share too. There's so much value in failure. I feel like I have failed my way forward for 12 years, but if not for the failure, how would I have learned? So, and that's what people can connect. I say it, we're all so human that we connect with each other's failures way more than we do successes. Just keep going. When you mess up and you think, how am I ever going to get over that blooper? Well, you do. You get over it and you get through it, and it'll be okay, and make it a story that can add value for somebody else. Maybe, let me tell you what not to do. So,
Yeah. Good stuff. Anything
So,
else?
Anne, last time I joined the meeting, I think I shared that I was so excited because I had made samples. And this month I was sharing samples that were my favorites because before I did the All Is Well and the Valentine's collections.
Mhm.
Well, I just closed out a party, and the person that was hosting the party was ordering lots of the samples that I sent. And I'm like, oh, these are my favorites. And she said, yeah, I just got your samples in the mail and I love those scents. They're so fresh.
Cool. That's a good idea to do. In my mailer that I do, my newsletter, those newsletters. Ugh. I got another $100 order last night from the newsletter. That is like the best thing ever. I don't know how many times I can say it over and over and over with my group. Like I just want to make them all for everybody and then send them to them and be like, here, send this to your group. I mean, that's kind of what we do, but
Is this the Heather newsletter or a different one?
yeah, I mean, any newsletter that you can find. I use the Heather one, but yeah, just getting something in the mail. But even like Missy, we were talking about like the recipe, like why am I not putting a QR code on that newsletter to send to my customers? Like, here's a fun, recipe that we like as a family. Like, how simple would that be to just add that on to that newsletter to make it more personal? So I think I'm gonna do that. Even like if you take like a month and you can do like a segment, like go on Pinterest and get the idea, but to do a purging month with your customers, or and every day you pick one thing, whether it's your kitchen, your laundry room, your closets, your entryway closet, your whatever, or even just not every day, but maybe give them 3 things a week to work on. I did that so many years ago. I haven't done it in forever, but just posted it on I think in my VIP page, I posted it. And some people followed along, and who knows who was just secretly watching and not even saying a peep. So yeah, well, I'm kind of what I was wanting to do went over here. So we'll do that a different time. But the conversation that we had was just perfect. And honestly, it's what I needed to hear. So thank you, Missy, for you always know just what I always need to hear somehow. Just amazing.
Except for earrings.
Yeah. Never let me live that down.
I'm going to send you a pair just for fun. So
I was just gonna say, Missy, can we get her a pair so we can send it to her?
Missy, what do these earrings look like?
they're faux leather earrings from Amazon. I buy them in bulk and they go to my active front line. And it's one of those things that are so simple enough that my front line and several of my leaders are now doing it for their active front line. That was just a focus goal with my bar report with my home office coach, was to increase my number of active frontline. And so when you have a target goal, you just think, what can I do? And I got the idea from another superstar director. And so like in February, I sent out Valentine's heart ones. You just go to Amazon and search faux leather earrings and they'll come up in bulk. You can get sets of 20 for, I mean, it's by the time we mail it, it's less than $1 per active front line with postage and the earrings. So it's definitely duplicatable for those that want to. And then of course, I add a little fun tag saying they're for my front line. And I'm always getting people, and I try to nip this at the bud, that if your sponsor doesn't do it and that speaks value to you, then you do it. Because that's a thing in this business, that we compare what my sponsor does, what her sponsor does, yada, 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 yada. Nobody gets to complain to me about sponsors. I've rolled up 3 times. And so it's just something fun I like to do. Just something fun. And like I said, it's just a fun joke between Ann and me. And a lot of my people are now doing it. So, which is, it's just connecting. It's just a fun way to connect with people, because the rule of thumb is you want your frontline to hear from you at least once a month, day 71 on. And for those that are active, that's how they hear from me, is they get their fun pair of earrings. But I love to bring it up with Ann because I love her honesty, love it. And I laughed out loud when she told me that. But I hope that speaks value to y'all, that people in your circle that you so admire, like I so admire Ann as a leader. We're not going to see things eye to eye,
Right.
but you do the things that give you joy. And that's key. If it's in your budget and it's something that you want to do, try. Giving myself 6 months to try it. They're all kind of liking it now though. So it's okay. It can be done.
They post in in her group.
Yes.
Like, thank you, Missy. Like they give a big shout out, and then they'll post a picture of the earrings.
Yes. And Ann's just laughing over these earrings.
Yeah.
But look at the joy that it brings.
Right.
It brings you joy just by seeing it now. So
It does. It makes me laugh every single time because it's like, oh my God, are you going to wear them?
they do.
I know.
It's fun stuff. So it's just fun stuff. So
My itty bitty little studs.
yeah.
Just
I
don't
yeah.
know.
No, it's just fun. I have a male consultant, so I have to work around them too. So
But too, it just doesn't, everyone can do the business different. We don't have to all do it the same. I even did a poll in my group saying,
I saw it.
and no one,
I know.
I don't think anyone picked it. So,
No, I saw it and I giggled when I saw it because I'm like, nope, that's not for them. So, but it's going back to those 5 areas I focus on in my business: PRV, new recruits, active frontline, TWV and GWV, and that just feeds that active frontline focus. And I'm starting to see a year-over-year increase, and that's the goal. That's the ultimate goal, is that year-over-year increase. And we just looked at January last year comparison to January this year. And I don't know if y'all know these numbers, but whatever your frontline number is, the goal is for 50% to be active. And I don't have 50% active of my frontline yet, but that's my goal. And so you just figure out of things within your budget. And listen, it can be free too. It can be a Facebook shout out. It can be a text. It can be whatever you can do to meet your goals that would add value, not only for, for you, but, and then you make it to where it's not monotonous. So every Friday I go in and see who's active so far, and I go ahead and get the envelope addressed. So at the end of the month, it's not so monotonous in doing it, and get the earrings. When we get paid, I budget out a percent of my check goes to team prizes, and that's part of that budget. So it's like Chick-fil-A has to buy more chicken. We have to get more business stuff. And sometimes the business stuff, and if I have some left over, I'll put them in my mystery bags for my customers, and they like them too. So yeah, because I don't want a lot of stuff just hoarding around, which
Right.
can happen.
Use what you got first.
Yes.
Cool. Well, thanks guys for hopping on. Appreciate it. Hopefully we can go back to, I'm gonna stop the recording. Hold on.